Okay, let's go.
I might, I don't know. You know what I might do? Let me tell you. I might start getting into Jesus.
Okay.
I might be hitting that age. Like, in the last few days, I've been like, there's so much cringy stuff with Jesus, Lord. And this is my problem that I have, right? I wanted to study it because all that I know of what I know about it is I know a little bit here and there from learning it throughout the years of being alive, but also what my mom forcing me to go to church.
Yeah.
And we would have fights. And then my dad would have to come in and be like, "You're going." And I'm like, "Well, fuck you. You don't even go. You can't say that." And then his excuse was I had to go when I was a kid or whatever. And also he's dad.
Yeah.
And then I remember I got so mad. There was this kid that was younger than me that would go to the school, and he would go to the same church, and his mom was there, and he wasn't there. And I go, "Hey, where's Jacob?" He was another Jacob, and his mom goes, "Oh, he didn't feel like going today." I'm like, "What the fuck? You can do that?" And I just glare at my mom. Like, oh. So here's my thing on this. I'm like, okay, maybe I just want to read on it, and I want to study it, and I don't even know where to begin on something like that, because it's not like you can just pick up. The Bible's so confusing and very boring. You know,
you can start from the beginning. It does still read like a book.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Have you tried reading that beast, man? It doesn't read like. What are you talking about?
It'll read like a book that's not great.
It won't read, dude. It's like crazy.
It reads like a bunch of a lot of short stories.
Yeah, and I know there's easier books out there. Like, it depends. Like, I do actually have one coming that's probably a little easier, and I don't know how many what do you call it? How many, not advantages they took or whatever, but I can't think of the word. But how the author of that, like, how much did they switch to try to make it cool and hip? And it was like not even in the Bible. You know what I mean? I don't know that word that I'm looking for, but whatever. So I actually do. Yeah, I'm close to that age where maybe this is where I start studying that. You know, NPR radio is getting real close for me too.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, as I'm thinking about doing this and just like kind of going down that rabbit hole of learning a little bit, there's so much, it makes me cringe. And I think it's because of like how boring it is. Liberties. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. And, well, I was telling Angie, like, everybody that I know that's super into it are super gay for Jesus. They're just
they really like it. Yeah.
And they got this cringy, like,
just
I don't want to be
them.
Yeah, like, I don't want to be that. I'm telling the kids, I'm like, "Hey, we're gonna be Christian soon." And then they're like, "What? Why?" And I'm like, "Well, because," and then mom's like, Dad's doing another like little hobby, so we got to deal with it for a little bit." And I'm like, first of all, mean. And then they're like, "No, I don't want to be like Eli," because the two neighbors down, he's a pastor, and those kids have to go to bed like at 7. This is what I'm talking about. Well, like, the people that I know about it are, they seem to have this weird, like, do I got to start wearing khaki pants with creases?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
pleats?
I could definitely see you getting really into it.
Because how many times have I said I've been looking for a cult?
Yeah, and this is just one that's already pretty established.
Yeah, it's really established. So the thing is I don't want the church thing. I'm not big into that.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't that, even for you, take away all the weirdness to it? Doesn't it seem like this? It just has this cloud of like bleh to it, like a bleh. Like, I feel like there's not You know how it is. Anytime they try to make it fun and cool, it's just a guy that sits on a chair backwards.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna have its cringiness to it. You're just gonna
Why?
have to. I
I know
don't know.
you can't put your
It's
finger on
hard
it, can
to
you?
explain because it's like it just has a cringiness to it because they're just really happy and they say things like, well, I they say shit like I let Jesus into my heart and
Oh.
now yeah, see, and it's a weird thing to
Oh.
say and deal with.
They're just a bunch
Um
of Poindexters.
but like I have a lot of envy for those people that have that blind faith.
Oh, I know. Isn't that great?
I
Hey, look
have
at like
that
that.
envy.
Like, look at that. Who's the dude that Oliver Anthony? When he was doing drugs and all this, and then he's like, I completely gave my life to Jesus, which that's a weird, cringy thing to say
Yeah.
there. And he's went strict faith and changed his life, and then like 8 months later, I mean, he's got that. So like, or I mean, he had like the #1 song. What I'm saying, making money. So I know I don't want to utilize it for that. That's not what I'm utilizing it for. Is to make money. But me having that little mental breakdown, I'm like, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Like something popped in my head where it was like, I need to maybe I'll give this a try. And it's not like a thing where it's like I'm going to jump in and all of a sudden start going to church. I
Yeah.
just kind of wanted to just see now that I'm with a little bit older of a brain, because everything that I find that's cringy or whatnot, I've learned when I was younger about it.
Yeah.
So I have this, uh, whatever you call it, I have this view of it from through those eyeballs. So I'm just gonna try to study it and put aside. But also, we'll see because it is a tough read. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting where this turns into.
What if we every morning we start with a prayer?
Oh, if you start
Oh,
with a prayer, I'm out. If you're like, okay, well, we're gonna do our morning thing, like
we can
I'm out.
hold hands like this.
Yeah, like do that. Yeah, no, that's a
Like,
quick.
dear Heavenly Father, let's have a great podcast today.
Uh, uh,
Yeah, I don't know, man. And we'll just I'm taking it as right now where I'm not like doing I'm just kind of looking at it from like, hey, I want to read about this. That's where I'm going with this in my
yeah,
head. It makes me feel better that way. And we'll go from there, man. Yeah, and we'll
yeah,
see what happens. I'm just gonna because it is history.
yeah,
I don't know how many liberties that it's
yeah.
been taken throughout the years, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's history in a sense that the religion has been around for a while. You can take it as like it's either this all happened or it you're at least studying the religion part of it of where that came from.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I got like what I'm doing is I can podcast. I got to figure out like a podcast because again, I tried podcasting a couple and I'm like, oh, they're so bad. Like
Yeah.
they got some woman that talks in a really high pitched voice and Jesus loves everyone and it's just stop.
Well,
Stop.
why don't you get like a legit audiobook of just the Bible
And I you see me
and
and
you
I'm
just
just
listen
passed
to
out sleeping.
yeah, you just listen to that.
We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, that's my new thing right now. I'm on and also I'm on Route 8 today. I'm gonna freeze my ass off. It's gonna be cold today, I feel.
It's snow by you?
It didn't snow here. Did it snow you?
I don't know. I didn't look outside.
No, it's pretty good. Nothing happened. I know we were supposed to get something yesterday, but we never did.
Yeah, we were supposed to get like 2 inches or some shit like that, but I didn't. It wasn't snowing when I went to bed at like 10. So
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway,
yeah, and it's supposed to be like 19 degrees as a high today.
I
Oh,
have,
dude, next week is gonna suck balls.
yeah, I know she's dropping down.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
dude.
The wind chill is going to be like negative. I heard.
I don't. Monday and Tuesday of next week, the high is 3, and the low is -5.
Right. Um. 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 Yeah. Yeah. So I ended up going to watch Sonic 3 yesterday by myself.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Never watched the first or second.
Yeah, so it's probably a little confusing.
No, my kids ended up. They liked it. I obviously it's a Sonic movie, and if you
Yeah.
can take away what you can take away, like on any of those, the first one was better, I guess, because you got to introduce the characters. Never watched
Yeah.
the second one, and yeah, it's terrible. And I played poker on my phone like throughout the entire movie. 180 million.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. That's
thanks,
good.
man.
Yeah. I haven't seen any of those Sonic movies. My kids just aren't interested in them, which I'm okay with because I have zero interest in watching them either.
Yeah, they're just okay. I mean,
They are what they are.
yeah, they're very. You know what I liked about it, Lo? And this is what I have a problem with on movies. Um, they get right into it because kids' attention spans are so they get right into like there's no building of characters. The plots are easy. They don't have to
Yeah.
do any explaining of anything. It's just like that doesn't make sense. Why are they doing? You don't even think about it. They're just doing it, and that's what I
Yeah.
like. I had these bunch of 15-year-olds sitting beside me because they were a little too old for that type of movie.
Yeah.
So they just talked through the entire thing and were standing up and twerking and in front of their phones and all of that. But yeah, other than that, it was all right. Mequon Theater's pretty nice. I know that much. I don't know.
I
What
don't
the
know
fuck.
if I've ever been to the Mequon one.
Yeah, it's not bad, man. It's all
Why'd
right.
you choose that theater? Because you had to drive past the Saukville one to get to the Mequon one.
Well, two reasons. One, the Saukville one is closed down for the last like 5 years.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Yeah, you got to drive past that one.
And two, I would drive past it anyway because they just have regular seating in there.
Oh, they don't have the nice seats?
No, you can't even do it. Unless you are a small theater like in Cedarburg or Traverse City, Michigan. You know what I mean? Like that has that downtown old feel, and you play like, hey, they're
Where
playing
it's only got
Father
2 theaters.
Father of the Bride, or these old movies they play. Maybe they'll have a new one, right? That maybe you could do it like that, where you can go in. It's like it's only $5 for a movie and a popcorn. But you got regular seating in like a multiplex theater. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's awful.
Your days are numbered, Like even Mequon, they got an event room in there, and I'm like, who's using this? Unless you got a birthday party in the middle of winter, I would think, where you can like, hey, we're gonna go see a movie, plus we got this event room where we can have a birthday party. Actually, that's kind of cool if you had small kids, But you know what sucks about that too, Lo, is you don't get the theater yourself because there was one happen a while ago.
Yeah, you'd had to rent out the theater, which they always advertised right before movies like, hey, rent out the theater for a private party. And it's like, I don't know how much that is, but I can tell you it's too much.
Yeah, right. Especially for something like that, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, listen, I like the theater. It's all right. It's good. It's an experience, but it's really, so it was $50 for the movie, for the tickets. And then they wanted slushy and cotton candy, which, I mean, you can't go to the movie theaters without getting
something. Yeah.
So there was an extra $30. So, there you go. It was
it's $100 day. Yeah.
No, $100 easy. And then we went to dinner before that and spent $100, which we haven't been to a restaurant in so long. I could not believe that I spent $108. But you know what it is? My kids' stomachs are growing, so they're getting adult food now.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, we were talking about that because we do HelloFresh 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And Kayla was like, dude, is this costing us more? Like, are we wasting money on this? Because it's like $80 a week or something like that, and you get 4 meals out of it.
Right.
And then we had to stop and grab lunch on the way home because we stopped going out to eat or like ordering in because we have HelloFreshes, and it's like, do we have to use those? Like,
Yeah. I get that.
And then we stopped on our way yesterday and grabbed like A&W for lunch, and it was $40. And it's like, oh yeah, that's why we do HelloFresh. Because if there's ever a day where it's like, dude, let's just grab something to eat quick, it costs us way more.
That's funny. You go, we either got to do HelloFresh or we're going to go out
Well,
to eat.
yeah, well, because with HelloFresh, we've been going out way less.
Oh, yeah.
of just being like, because we're so close to so many different options to just grab something.
Yeah,
Because like if you were like, dude, I don't feel like making dinner, it's McDonald's. But if we have like, I don't feel like making dinner, well, we have every other option that we could do.
So you can't control yourself?
On like days like when V has gymnastics.
Dude, I'll tell you this.
We're getting home at like 7:00. It's like, dude, let's just grab fucking something on the way home.
So true, because Angie works late, and I have to force myself not to do what you just said, like McDonald's every day, because one of the worst things, this is fun. This is a good question here. On the sideline too, Kelly Davies sideline, what is something that you hate about adulting? For me, it's I've never been like a super fan of cooking, but I think on top of that is making a grocery list, figuring out dinners.
Yes, and that's where the HelloFresh thing comes in too, because you don't have to fucking worry about that half the time.
Well, yeah, man, but that is expensive, right?
$80, and then if you figure it out though, like it does save on our grocery list too.
I don't know how that saves on your. So you're doing those are just dinners?
Yeah. That's how it saves on the grocery list. We're not buying shit to make dinners during the week.
Yeah, I guess I would have to like, I mean, maybe it works for you guys. I don't know if it necessarily work for us. It seems like it would be.
It's a little different. It would be different for you guys because your kids eat more.
Yeah.
Like we just do for 2 people, and then we just split it. And they eat like 3 or 4 bites, and then also just want us to throw in like nuggets or a Lunchable or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So it works for us now. In like a year or 2, when the kids are eating more food, and like, then probably not. Like where you said, like at restaurants, they got bigger bellies, so they're eating more.
Heather says going to work is one. Finding time to clean. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem, Heather. You can blame that on your kind. You women wanted to get into the workforce. So now you have little time to do your womanly duties.
It's yeah, I love seeing those TikToks where it's like, why do we have to work? We could have stayed home.
Oh, women saying that? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just like somebody was saying that. They were like, I don't know, because I'm going to butcher what they were saying. I kind of know what he was saying. He was like saying in a way that men did all the work from the time in the beginning. They went out and they did the hunting and they did all of this and they built a world. I don't know. I don't want to get into it. I'm going to fuck it all up. Let's reverse that. Let's edit that out. Jamie, can you edit that out?
All I know is that if we wanted to go back to a time where there was only a 1-income household, there's not a chance we could do it in today's world.
Not unless you're Jordan Peterson or somebody with like 1%.
Yeah, the 1%ers can do it, but
yeah, dude, no way. Yeah, there's no way it would. You'd live. Oh, God, I was thinking that. I was telling Angie, I'm like, there's no way. If I don't know how any of these postal people are doing it. Like if they got, like I'm saying, if they got like a single income, like what are you talking about, dude? You'd have to have like 4 jobs.
Yeah, I don't know how single people do it.
The best thing, and this is what happens when you're working for the USPS, and I will say it does depend on what state or office you are a part of. Because there are plenty of offices that do not have their shit together. They run really late. You know, most of the days I'm out by 3:00. It's 7 to 3. I would say 90% of the time I'm out that time. And there's a lot of offices like in Sheboygan right now. They're running really late because they need help. And there's just a lot of managers that suck. I'm in a really good spot. But with that being said, I do believe a ton of people get into this because everybody always talks about the retirement and the pension that you're going to have if that's still there and around at that time. But it gets when you get going in this, that's what's hard. Once you get like 3 or 4 years, you're like, well, shit, I got 3 years in this thing, man, and then that's just gone. I'm like, that's how they get you. That's why a lot of these people that get kind of unhappy. Because I will be honest with the gig, I was telling Tanner this just a little earlier. With the gig, it's you do kind of feel like a machine after a minute. Like I know the routes pretty well. Yeah, I understand it, and you kind of just like, you can think a lot in your head, which is great. You podcast, you can get, plan out your whatever, because you're not the first part of it's really insane because you're learning, but then after that you kind of got it, and I kind of feel like a little bit of a machine.
Yeah.
So there is that aspect of it, and I think those people that start hating it down the road, they get stuck in it because of the pension. And
once you start thinking about that, how much money you're gonna, it's like, dude, I've been doing this for 10 years, this is how much is in my pension, I can't stop.
Right. Yeah. And I will say, as much as the walking can suck, there is something that makes you feel better about people. Like you walk 12 miles a day and you're like, I don't know, I get a bunch of extras. I walk.
Yeah.
I'm walk. You don't.
All these people are going to the gym, and I noticed during I get paid to do it.
Yeah, a lot of people are running.
I pay,
and they're miserable while they're running. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't even think about it, baby.
You're doing that on your free time. I got paid to get it to get this fucking sexy ass body.
That's right, man. I told Angie, I'm like, if you want me to start working, because I'm doing this X3 too, and I'm like, listen, if I'm going to take this to an extreme where I get muscle, I'm going to go shirtless while I'm carrying mail. So I just don't know if you want that. How much shape, how much muscle mass do you want me to put on? Because I will be the mailman that just wears a satchel and no shirt. So
that has to order like, hey, where do I order shirts with XXL arms?
Yeah.
Like,
right. Hey, if you want more of this, we got you covered. Follow the link below for our Patreon. Also check out our Instagram and our Facebooks. We would love to have you part of the community.